avoid crowds at national parks. I talked to other rangers in other national parks, and I asked them if what I'm going to do is completely legal, and they're like, yeah, go for it. Like, just don't get lost. It's like, all right, good deal. All right, first things first. If this is going to work for you, you must, and I repeat, you must park at a pull-off or a trailhead like this one. Nice big pull-off. You're allowed to park here for a decent amount of hours. You cannot do it overnight. Obviously, park, don't be a jerk and park somewhere where you're not in everyone's way. Blah, 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 blah. First things first, ask one of the park rangers which trail is the least popular. Every national park, they give you a free map, and it tells you pretty much every trail. And I've always asked park rangers, I'm like, which one is the least popular? Because I'm going to do that one. And 9 times out of 10, I go do the most unpopular one, and usually I see nobody. Tip numero dos. Come on a weekday. Today's Monday. Most people are working. I worked this morning, and I got here around 2 o'clock, and there hasn't been anyone out here yet, which is pretty awesome. This is where I'm at right now, the little playa trail. It's very popular in White Sands, and as you can see, you can't see right now, but there's footprints everywhere. But right now, I'm the only one making footprints. You guys like my desert glasses? They help me see better, because this white sand is like snow. The light reflects off it, goes in your face, goes in your eyes, will burn your retinas. My face is literally sunburned because of all this white sand and the sun reflecting off it. It's crazy. I probably look goofy, but whatever. Alright, tip number 3 is just make your way into the backcountry. Kind of like this. So you can see, there's nothing out here. Except for a whole bunch of sand dunes to my right, and a whole bunch of, shrubs to my left. And not a single person. Why? Because there's no path out here. But, at least here in White Sands, you can kind of just walk along the sand and, you'll be okay. Load the maps on your phone. Next thing you know, you'll never get lost. Now you're probably like, well, what if I'm, in Grand Tetons, or what if I'm in Smoky Mountain, or anywhere else that's not deserty? Well, the same rules apply. Just, walk out in the woods as long as you want. Or if you're going on down a path where there's a lot of people walking down the path, just cut off the trail. But go like a mile maybe, and save the maps on your phone. I've done that in Acadia. I went off trail there and ended up finding deer antlers, and I found owls and other cool things, because all the animals know, don't intersect with the humans, so they go deeper into the woods. So if you're a wildlife photographer like me, or you're just visually looking at wildlife, you gotta go pretty far back. Tip number 4. Try to go in the wee hours of the morning. Ow, 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 desert's attacking. Go early. Get there at sunrise. The times I've camped in a national park, I've gone during sunrise. Or I woke up at sunrise. There's no one there. No one gets there till 8, 9 o'clock, because people are genuinely just not really for it that early. People usually arrive around 10, 11 o'clock, and they only stay till about, an hour before sunset, maybe 2 hours before sunset. They'll all start leaving. And that's kind of that's your chance. That's your time. That's your time to shine. You can hop on the trails and kind of get away from people. Meeting people on the trail is fun. I've met a lot of nice people just walking around. But also there's days where you just want to just want to be alone. So go early morning or go later at night, like I'm doing right now. It's almost 3, I think. Sun goes down at 5:30, and I'm in the backcountry. I ain't gonna see no one for a few hours. It's gonna be great. Tip number 5, I think. Go to a park at the right time of year. For example, I visited Big Bend, Guadalupe National Park, now at White Sands, and various other places. And right now, midday, it's 60 degrees. I mean, the sun's out, so the sun's kind of hot, but once that wind comes in, ooh, it feels good. Yeah, at nighttime it's cold, so if you're camping, bring proper camping gear, because it does get down. I think the lowest so far I've been in is 15 degrees, which is pretty cold. But on average, it's like, I don't know, I think it was like 32 degrees. I'm also in the lower part of the desert, where it's around 4,000 feet above sea level, so it doesn't get that cold. Places where it was 15, it was easily another 1,000 feet up, sometimes 2,000 feet, so it will get pretty cold. Check this cool thing out. Get out of the way, shadow. So this kind of happens because the sand clumps to the roots of this bush, and the sand's a little bit stronger, so when the wind blows by the loose sand and keeps the harder sand intact. You get this cool looking thing. Fun fact, the little kit fox that lives here, which is about the size of a chihuahua, which I'm looking for currently, they will dig burrows under root systems like that because the ground is harder. So they're smart little guys. They figure that out on their own. They're like, hey, if we dig here, this shit won't collapse on us. So it's pretty amazing if you think about it. Imagine a little desert chihuahua digging little holes, living, and it's all like, let's just do it right here. And they're like, okay. Next thing you know, it works. So the crazy thing about these things popping out of the ground, especially that one and that one over there, is that these can potentially be mammoth footsteps. Because back in the day, this all used to be clay. So this clay would like harden, and then eventually it'll move up through this fine ground. Like, this ground comes apart pretty easily, so erosion has, basically brought this thing back up from the ground. And they found human and sloth prints because of finding things like this. So yeah, for all I know, these can be mammoth footsteps, which would be fucking crazy. Here's mine. It's not gonna last long. So those are my footprints from yesterday. I walked a little further to the north this time and came around back this way. I've been following these coyote tracks for like almost a mile, and it actually stopped and like stepped in my track and kind of started sniffing around. You can see where he was sniffing. See these little streaks in between his footsteps, or her footsteps. Pretty wild, man. So those are my few tips that I've learned along the way. Yeah, some of it's common sense, and I'm sure a lot of you have already known these things, but there are also a lot of people who are just discovering national parks and they don't really know the rules, but hopefully I shed a little bit of light onto some things that, maybe not a lot of people know. Or maybe they do know. I don't know. I didn't know these things at one point until I started coming here and asking questions.